Moon, a map which in my opinion is beloved by most of the community. Nothing quite gives the feeling of desolation like being stranded on an entirely different celestial body completely alone. On top of that, this map nailed its atmosphere and really made players feel hopeless. Now, no one's doubting that this is a well-made map, but I do have one issue with it. The Easter egg. I would genuinely rather misread instructions and get my balls stuck in a blender than play this map's Easter egg on a regular basis. It may seem like I'm over-exaggerating, but listen, many zombies maps have what I like to call artificial round extenders, such as needing to wait over 8 rounds and 9 on Black Ops 4 just to continue, or needing to wait 6+ rounds on Gorod Krovi to wait for the egg to incubate, or needing to kill a whole round of zombies just to fill 4 different soul jars into Rise and Direct. But this map does it differently. It's entirely based on RNG. Let me explain. The actual steps of this Easter egg are incredibly simple. Play Simon Says round 1, hit the hacking device, hack this button on the wall, hack the 4 green lights, wait for Excavator Pi to decompress tunnel 6, knife this ball around, shoot the ball on the satellite with the wave gun, knife the ball some more, throw grenades and a Gersh device at these panels in Groom Lake, throw a QED at them and spawn, have a conversation with Maxis, charge the Vril device, kill zombies around the MPD, then play Simon Says rounds 2 to 4, and you're done. But there are 2 major flaws in this Easter eggs design. But before we get into that, let me detail how this actually went for me. First, I spawn into the map and run straight to the Gobblegum machine to pick up Disorderly Combat, which allows me to get a random gun every 10 seconds. This basically allows me to get a free shopping free on round 1, since when I kill zombies at Groom Lake, I get points but I don't have the round. Once the Gobblegum runs out, I run over to Griffin Station. Anybody with thumbs who's played this map before knows they need a PES system to breathe in space, and so I go ahead and grab one. Then I head over to turn on power and get the hacking devices from the lab. Quick note, who thought these jump pads were a good idea? They're placed directly in front of doors, and more often than not, you accidentally start jumping around on them and get killed 99.9% of the time. Anyway, since I started this map with over 30,000 points, I teleport back to Groom Lake in hopes of getting Juggernog early. Then I take the hacking devices back to the moon and try to cancel out some box locations. Unfortunately, I misjudge the oxygen timer and I overdo it by just barely, and I go down and lose all of my perks immediately. This is usually the most important part of my entire routine here. Then I grab this S-shaped hose for a step later on in the Easter egg and decide it's time for the first step, Simon Says. Once we're done with this step, we can start on our first round of fire sales. Before that, it's time to get into the first glaring issue of this Easter egg. Mystery Box RNG. In order to get the panels from Groom Lake to start your first step, you're going to need the Gersh devices. These are basically singularity devices, but you already know that, I'm sure. Now, usually that's not really a problem, but from what I've researched as well as my personal experience, the drops from the box are completely random. Now, there's 35 guns in the box that you can get. This gives you a little under a 3% chance to get the Gersh devices. Compare that to a map like Gorod Krovi, where I can easily get the Ray Gun Mark III within 1 fire sale, consistently. And I know what you're thinking, oh Dan, that's not bad at all, just hit the box a couple of times, or maybe use an immolation liquidation gobblegum. And you know what, fair, maybe I'm just shit at this game, or maybe it's the fact that you need to do this a total of 4 times throughout this egg. Not only do you need the Gersh devices, you're also going to need the wave gun and the QEDs. Now, this also wouldn't be an issue if your QEDs didn't replace your Gersh devices. So since you need the Gersh devices both at the very beginning and the very end of the egg, that's going to total your Box RNG to 4 different 3% chances. That is if you're doing the egg solo. Otherwise, it's only 3 times, which, I mean, honestly isn't a problem. Well, you know what, maybe I'm being too harsh. At least I'm getting a really good setup that'll make it easy for me to survive, right? Wrong. Well, half wrong at least. The wave gun is amazing, no doubt, but since the Gersh devices and the QEDs take up the same slot, you end up with a much shittier QEDs for the majority of the game. Upon deploying a QED, a multitude of random events could happen, ranging from spawning power-ups to dropping different types of grenades to spawning an upgraded MR6 that spins in a circle and can kill you within seconds. I've literally gotten myself killed multiple times while trying to use a QED just for an Easter egg step. The Gersh devices, on the other hand, are fantastic. They're basically full immunity for a couple of seconds if you're standing near it. I believe it can also teleport you on rare occasions, avoiding soft locks with the excavators. I'll get into that soon. But you only end up needing the Gersh devices for, like I said, the very beginning of the Easter egg and the very last step. Thanks, Treyarch. Now, I get it. Maybe I don't have the best experience with this map. I've only done it a grand total of 2 times. The first time, I ended up using 4 different immolation liquidation gobblegums, and I was in a party with another person, which meant one of us could have gotten the Gersh devices and the other one of us could have gotten the QEDs. So we didn't even need to deal with trading the Gersh devices out for the QEDs and vice versa. The second time was for this video. I told you, I don't like this map's Easter egg, and I try to avoid it whenever possible. But I was doing it solo, as you can see, and thankfully, I had much better luck. But even so, the sheer amount of times I had to hit the box just to get the few things I needed felt absolutely ridiculous. But for now, let's get back to the run. I'm gonna go ahead and count this down for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I get lucky here because I get the Gersh devices on my 4th attempt, but I still need the wave gun. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 attempts later and I'm still completely out of luck. I cut my losses and head back to Groom Lake and get Jug. But instead, Speed Cola spawns, and so while I'm here I decide to throw grenades and a Gersh device over at this wall to get the panels that I need. Though since I'm completely absent-minded, I corner myself here and go down. Once we're done with that, I throw this Gersh device, and that marks the conclusion of the Gersh devices for the first step of the Easter egg. I head back to Griffin Station, grab the hacking devices, and start on the second step of the Easter egg, which is to hack this button on the wall and then going around the laboratory and hacking 4 different green panels that have random spawns. This is a pretty easy step, all things considered, but these Nova Crawlers definitely do not help. Having a Gersh device here was a lifesaver. Once I'm done, I go over here and press all of these 4 buttons, and step 2 of the Easter egg is done. Realizing that I have over 7,000 points, I decide that it's time for more box hits. 16, 17, 18 in a different box, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and no luck. Now I go and get Jug from Groom Lake again and rack up some more points and hope to not have to waste more Immolation Liquidation Gobblegums. Once we're done there, it's time for even more box hits. 24, 25, 26, 27, and I finally get the QEDs I've been hoping for. I throw one at these panels over by Quick Revive and keep trying to hit the box for the wave gun. At this point, I'm only waiting for Excavator Pi to decompress Tunnel 6, so I have literally nothing else to do except for hit this box. This is 28, this is 29, 30, and I get another bear. My entire strat at this point is get points, find the box, hope for a wave gun, and that's literally it. 31, and I get the Gersh devices again. I need them later, but right now I need to keep the QEDs. 32, 33, and I get the ray gun Mark II. This makes things difficult now, because I want to keep the ray gun since it's probably the best gun on this map, but unfortunately that means I need Mule Kick because I don't want to lose the AK-74 you packed, and I also need the wave gun. On top of that, I hear that Tunnel 11 is about to be decompressed, and that means I'll need to wait another 4 minutes plus however long it takes for Tunnel 6 to be next. I decide to risk stopping the decompression of Tunnel 11 by grabbing the hacking device and heading back to spawn. I didn't realize it at the time, but all this was doing was making it less probable that Tunnel 6 was going to be chosen, since it has any other option. But with that out of the way, it's time for more box hits. Are you getting bored of this yet? I know I was. Now, I mentioned wanting to get Mule Kick before risking getting the wave gun and not giving up on my ray gun Mark II, but in farming for points, I got a natural fire sale and then 34. The wave gun. I like how this map doesn't give you shit until you don't fucking want it. I decided to trade in my packed AK-74U because it was going to end up being easier in the long run to get back a decent regular bullet weapon instead of getting the ray gun Mark II back. Alright, excellent. We now have everything we need to at least start this damn Easter egg. Well, except for the excavators. Speaking of excavators, that brings me to Issue 2, Excavator RNG. The second glaring issue with this egg is the excavators. There are 3 excavators that will block off / decompress 3 different sections of this map. Excavator Omicron will collapse Tunnel 11, Excavator Pi will collapse Tunnel 6, and Excavator Epsilon will only decompress the biodome. I feel like this was initially intended to be a stressful thing that players encounter during game. However, since Excavator Pi collapsing Tunnel 6 turned into part of the map's entire Easter egg, I'm sure I can make any veteran Call of Duty Zombies player tear up just by saying, Excavator Pi will cause decompression of Tunnel 6. Alright, I get it. It looks like I'm overreacting again, but the issue is that only one excavator will activate at a time, and it has a built-in 4-minute timer for when the first warning of each excavator starts. Usually, again, this wouldn't be a problem, but you could very well, and fairly often, get both the biodome and Tunnel 11 to crash down before Tunnel 6, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. In this game, I actually stopped the excavation on Tunnel 11 with hacking device so that I can make sure not to softlock myself out of the map, only to find out that Tunnel 11 decided to excavate twice in a row. I ended up sitting in this spot until round 23 just to get Tunnel 6 excavated. Mind you, this was the 3rd step of the Easter egg, and I can already hear you, but Dan, why don't you just let all of them go down? Then you're waiting a maximum of 12 minutes and then you're guaranteed to have Tunnel 6 excavated. Yeah, you're right, but unfortunately, they're not even guaranteed to activate one after the other. The excavators have a chance to activate at random at the start of each round. In this game, Excavator Omicron collapsed Tunnel 11 on round 14. It took another 9 rounds for another excavator to activate. Luckily, it was Excavator Pi. There's also a whole aspect of this map that I've been leaving out. You can use the hacking devices found in the lab past the MPD to reverse the movement of these excavators. This is the only way to open up the tunnels since the excavators fully block them off. Pair that concept with the fact that the only 2 ways to get to the lab to get the hacking device is through either Tunnel 6 or through Tunnel 11, then you'd quickly realize that you can very easily trap yourself like I have. If you don't already have the hacking device on you, or you're not already in the second half of the map near power in the MPD when the second excavator comes down, you're completely screwed. Your options are genuinely to either get a Gersh device from the box that's hopefully on your side of the map and hope it teleports you to the other side of the map, or you get a friend to die and hopefully respawn on the other side of the tunnels. Or, I mean, of course, you could cry and live out the rest of your days in the spawn room like I usually do. Back to the run. On round 22, we finally got our good friend Pi to decompress Tunnel 6. Look at my excitement. Now we can run through the lab and get completely dunked on. I mean, we can get the hacking devices and pull the excavator back up to uncover the ball. Now passengers, if I can get you to look outside the front of the tour bus, you can see our good friend Pi attempting to fornicate with Tunnel 6. After hacking this control panel, it'll bring up the excavator and uncover this ball. I knife this ball and watch it bounce all around the walls over and over and over again, and whenever it stops, I go ahead and knife it again. But we're finally at the point where we can use the wave gun for its one sole purpose for this Easter egg. That's it. I hit the box 34 times for that. Anyway, I keep knifing this ball and it makes its way to the MPD. Now that this blue tube spawned on the MPD, we need to fill it with about 25 zombie souls. After that's done, we come over to the wall here and flip this power-esque switch on the wall. Or at least that's what I'm supposed to do. What I actually do is, a lot worse. Now I'm faced directly with the consequences of my actions, which is needing to play this map for another 1.5 to 2 hours. Yay! Speed round, spawn in, grab disorderly combat, get points, teleport, get my first fire sale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, nothing. Do Simon Says. More boxes. 13, 14, 15, 16, and we get the wave gun, thank God. 17, and we get a bear. Great. I'm sure you've noticed by now, but I decided to say fuck it this run and slap a soda fountain on so we would not have to do this again. I teleport again to get speed cola and pack-a-punch, and then it's time for a second step. The hacker button green light thing, I don't know what to call it. I end up trying to throw a grenade to slow a zombie and decompressing the entire lab like a fucking idiot, but it'll be fine, I promise. Once I hack all 4 green lights, I come over here and press all 4 buttons, and we're done with this step. And we're on to more box hits for the Gersh devices. 18, 19, 20, 21, and we get the Gersh devices. Thank God. At the time, I actually thought I had good luck on this map. I think that says enough on its own. Now we head straight to Groom Lake to get the 3rd step underway. Throw the Gersh device at the panels, teleport back. Now it's time for, you guessed it, even more fucking box hits for the QEDs. 22, 23, new box now, y'all. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and thank fuck we got them. Okay, now to step 4. Are you seeing my point yet? Throw the QED at quick revive and move on. Oh, it spawned a gun that can damage me. Oh, that's neat. This is foreshadowing. Now I just need to chill and wait for Excavator Pi to activate. Hopefully, there's literally no fucking way. Holy shit. Time to just wait a couple minutes and we have it in the bag. Hack the excavator, knife the ball over and over and over and over, shoot it with the wave gun, knife it again and again and again. Once it gets to the MPD, we gotta fill this canister up. This looks familiar, huh? Pull this switch, but don't be a complete fucking dickhead about it like I was. And here I got the steps mixed up thinking I needed to throw a QED at this device and quickly learned that this game was just tricking me into a false sense of security thinking that it actually was being nice to me for once. Head back to Groom Lake, buy Jug, and now we finally get to charge the Vril device. And you know what? I'll say it. I hate this part of the Easter egg. I actually thought the dude that I watched this guide from to understand this map just had no idea what he was talking about when he said that you just need to keep spamming interact with the computer, but he was right. I think the game tries to immerse you by making you feel like you're typing each and every individual key on the keyboard or something. Either way, it takes way too long in solo and can be incredibly frustrating. After listening to a little way too much dialogue, the screen will turn green and I can pick up the charged Vril device. I'm going to kill 25 to 30 zombies to fill each of these canisters, and then place the charged Vril device into the MPD. This ends up being pretty difficult because of the tight corridors in the map, but we eventually get it over with. After we place the device, the souls of Richtofen and Samantha swap places. This is significant because of story reasons. Now we're playing as Samantha, I think. Now this is the actual step where we throw a QED at the device, but I make sure that I do it from cover this time. But it is time for more box hits. In the most incredible streak of luck, I get the Gersh devices that we need on the first attempt. Now this part is probably the hardest solo, aside from the crippling RNG of course. I need to play Simon Says 3 times in a row with increasing difficulty each time. Unfortunately, toward this point in the run, my brain was already fried and I just could not get the simple memory down. Luckily, the game was nice to me because it felt bad for everything that it's done to me before and let me retry once I hit a checkpoint instead of resetting fully like I thought it was going to do. Once I'm done with this, then I throw a Gersh device to get the orb out of there, and then we send nukes to Earth because Max has told us to. This will set up all of the scenes that we get in Black Ops 2, mainly Transit, Die Rise, and Nuketown. Just like that, we've completed the Easter egg, and that brings our total box hit count over the course of 2 rounds to 65. Do you see my point yet? Of course, I think that Moon is a good map. It's just shrouded by a completely horrible RNG-based Easter egg. But that being said, I will likely never attempt this Easter egg again unless I'm intentionally trying to lose my sanity. And hey, if you like this video, feel free to drop a like on it. It helps let me know whether or not you like this style of content and motivates me to make more. Anyway, until next time, see ya.